if you miss a fish, it's not the same as messing up on a call. You're going to
Yeah.
hear about it and we're going to razz each other, but that's the great part of it, right? It
Yeah.
probably hurts just as much to lose that big fish as messing up as a call.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's just a fish. And the good thing about Guatemala and Pacific Fins, another one's going to be in your spread shortly. Our industry, it's us trying to find those healthy avenues. We keep finding the same things, and we don't always have the necessarily the help we need. We're really good at fixing everybody else's problem. It could be, from small as putting on a band-aid to getting a cat out of a tree, to a multi-vehicle accident, 30 people, a school bus full of 20 kids, and like we can do that all day, no problem. It's kind of the after the fact and what to do with that, and that's where we're bad as individuals on taking care of ourselves. Um, it kind of ingrained in us to always put others first.
The mental health side of things and all the trauma and everything that we see, it doesn't matter if you're with a little department or a big department or a big city. Um,
I love it. I got this feeling on the summer day when you were gone. I crashed my car into the bridge. I wept, I let it burn. I threw your shit into a bag and pushed it down the stairs. I crashed my car into the bridge.
I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night.
Welcome back to the Rods and Radios podcast. I am your host, Chris Thompson. Everybody calls me Tomp. I am here today with my man, Zach Miller, who is known as Big Tuna. And we got Levon Steel. Did I say that right? I think I messed that up.
Correct. Levon.
All right. I got it right that time. All right, good. I generally get that about 50-50. And today we are going to be talking about Beneath the Surface. This being a brand new podcast, we want to kind of share some information about rods and radios and what it is. Zach, Big Tuna, take us away.
Yeah, Rods and Radios Beneath the Surface is an idea generated to promote mental health for first responders. We're here to talk about our struggles, our life day to day when it comes to being in the fire service, in the police department, or running EMS calls. We're here to take care of our first responders and give them opportunities outside the industry to kind of relax, let go, and provide some world travel potentially.
Like it. And our guest today, Mr. Levon Steel, give us a little bit about yourself, bud.
Yeah. Hey guys. First of all, appreciate you asking me to join. I really do. Yeah, my name's Levon Steel. I'm born and raised here in Texas, and been a firefighter for 19 years here in Central Texas with Lake Travis Fire Rescue. I was in the military prior to that with the U.S. Navy. I did 4 years, 2 deployments. I was attached to a Marine recon group for a little bit. I was able to do some non-compliant boardings in the Middle East and Horn of Africa. And now I'm just crushing along with the 19 and a half years with the fire service, and, kind of counting the days down. I don't know, probably put another 4 years in, I think. Um, Another thing I do on the side is I am a real estate agent as well. We always got side hustles, but yeah, that's the gist of where I'm at.
I like it. How long have you been in real estate also?
About 18 years as well. I kind
Okay,
of got both certifications around the same time.
nice.
So yeah, stay
And
pretty
then,
busy. Two
yeah.
full-time jobs, two hats.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I think the spring market's going to be pretty hot. So for those of you out there in YouTube land, that is my kind of bread and butter. I'm all things real estate. I'm not as cool as these guys. I'm not in the fire service. I'm not in the police service, but I apparently am cool enough that I get drug along with them. So I'm okay with it.
Hey, Chris,
Um,
we can't grow a beard, so you're way cooler than us. All right, we're not allowed to
you got
grow
to
a
have
beard.
one, right? I'll be the
Yeah,
token beard guy. I love it.
yeah.
So, Levon, you clearly got the Maltese cross on your chest, as do I. Why don't you talk about what that means to you? Talk about your service industry, kind of your career in the fire service, your rank, and your process, and what that looked like.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, 19 years. I am a driver still. Was on the LT list recently. We're the largest county department in the state of Texas here in Central Texas. It's Lake Travis Fire Rescue. We have 6 stations, um, land to build two more. So there's definitely growth. We're a young department. but it's a very good career department. I've been very, very happy with them. Our district is a very, very mixed district, urban interface type thing. We have two actual cities within our district, Lakeway and Bee Caves, and then we have all the like urban interface with brush fires, hiking, issues. Plus, we're on the lake. We're on Lake Travis, and we border part of Lake Austin. So we have boat rescue crews, and then as well as two major highways that kind of go through our area. So we don't have big high rises like downtown, but we have your typical mid rises for our
Mhm.
district. And yeah, it's been a great career. I think that we all deal with the mental health side of things and all the trauma and everything that we see. It doesn't matter if you're with a little department or a big department or big city, because trauma happens everywhere, and we're the ones that are called and respond to it first. So yeah.
Awesome. How many stations and how many personnel do you guys have?
Yeah, we're six stations. Like I said, can build two more, land to build two more right now in the woodworks. About 110 in operations.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, we run two battalions, and we run about around 65, 70, 7,500 calls a year, somewhere around in there that area. So we do carry we run ALS trucks. We do not run ambulances. We run all fire trucks, but we do run ALS trucks, 4-man crews, all professional staffing.
Awesome. You talked about being on the LT process. What's that like? And do you have a desire to go beyond that? Or are you looking just kind of get in that officer role and when your time is up, you're good and go?
Yeah, no, I enjoy it. I've taken my time moving through the ranks. We don't have, being a smaller department, we don't have a lot of promotions every year. So it's been a little tough, kind of getting on the list and getting spots opened up. But I'm ready to move on to the officer role. I move up as a lieutenant often. And as far as you know, we'll see. Right now I'm shooting for about 4 more years, probably with the department. Hopefully, at least be a lieutenant for 2 of those years. But anything could change, type thing.
Beautiful, man. I love it.
Oh. So one question I have, kind of based on what we were just reviewing, I would say, what is the hardest part about the job?
Yeah, good question. As Zach knows, there's a lot of things that are hard about it, but it's probably the best career in the world. We all love it. That's why we do it every day. But honestly, I think um, no matter what firehouse or where you're at, there's always going to be negativity around, and just trying to stay positive and trying to be motivated and just stay away from kind of the drama with stuff. Firefighters, we have this wonderful, great job, but man, we love to complain, and it's just like it's and you then you say, hey, there's 30 other guys or more that want to take your spot, and you kind of like reevaluate it or whatever, or you could go to an 8 to 5 job or do something else, and everybody's like, no, it's okay, I'm good. But no, that's that's definitely a big part of it. And then obviously the longer you're in, everything just stacks. All these calls, all the trauma, everything that we do, it just stacks and stacks and stacks. And I'm a true believer in mental health and PTSD are anybody and everybody. You don't have to be in the military or be a first responder. We all have that. Where it comes from childhood trauma or just running across an accident or maybe being in an accident yourself or just life in general. We all have that trauma. The thing is with us first responders and military is multiply that by 1,000. Over the course of a 20-year career, we ran hundreds and hundreds of bad car wrecks, done CPR, hundreds of times, and everything else, that kind of transpires. And as far as we always be tough, we always either joke around about it or what we see to deal with it. And luckily, I think things are starting to change, and we're starting to have more mental health counseling and help and availability from not only just with the department, but also third parties and nonprofits and whatnot. So that's a big thing, is just all that stacking of the trauma over my 19-year career. It's definitely taken a toll on me. And I've definitely been in some, been in some bad times over the years. So,
I can only imagine.
Levon, so in kind of a lot of the trainings I've done and in talking to people, a lot of things that come up consistent, at least with firefighters, is we don't have at times, a healthy way to manage some of those stresses, and a lot of times that's the negativity that comes out, the complaining. How do you feel about that?
no, definitely. You know, figuring out how to manage it, and then you always have the department HR involved with such things as well. And because a lot of times HR is civilians, they don't really completely understand, and they have to go by all the rules with workman's comp and everything else. So it just always seems like there's loopholes and things that you got to jump through. And unfortunately, that makes a lot of us guys defer, not to ask for help and act and put the persona of like we are good and that didn't bother me type thing. And we're good at doing that. We're good at faking that. We're good at burying that stuff. But like I said, just the stacking and doing that, over and over and over, years after years. And that's when I think we start to see guys that are start to have like mental breakdowns, or maybe start seeing just only feeling negativity. And that's when we start really regurgitating like just negativity and whatnot, when it comes to that. So that's
Yeah, Tom. So, like in our industry, it's us trying to find those healthy avenues. We keep finding the same things, and we don't always have the necessarily the help we need. We're really good at fixing everybody else's problem. It could be, from small as putting on a band-aid to getting a cat out of a tree, to a multi-vehicle accident, 30 people, a school bus full of 20 kids, and like we can do that all day, no problem. It's kind of the after the fact and what to do with that. And that's where we're bad as individuals on taking care of ourselves. Um, it kind of ingrained in us to always put others first. And that's what I noticed with my brothers and sisters. And as an industry, we're trying to be better about that, have awareness about mental health, have awareness about talking about calls, and making sure that we're checking up on each other after each call.
I love that. No, so what I do know about the departments are, it's a very tight-knit group. And to, talking about some of the drama, I've heard them compared to sorority houses, where it's like, as long as everything's great, everybody's great. But one little thing goes wrong, and it's just like a bunch of chicks yelling at each other,
Somebody
in
drinks my
like a
Red Bull,
sorority
there's going
house.
to be an issue.
Well, well, that can even bring us to our next question. So, Levon, what made you decide to participate in the tournament last year?
Oh yeah. The tournament. Wow. So there's a gentleman named Will Bates. He's a former law enforcement out of St. Louis. That he took a retirement, and then he started a nonprofit out of St. Louis, called Will Be Inspired. And I have met him a couple of times before at conferences, and then he made a post on his Instagram. He has a pretty big following, and on that post, he just generally put a question up of any of my first responders like to go offshore fishing. And I've been a handful of times offshore fishing, just on personal trips and things like that, that I paid for out of pocket. And so I spoke up and got put on the list. And he sent myself and another St. Louis firefighter by the name of Rob. He sent the two of us, to the trip. I mean, I couldn't believe it. It was just amazing. And to get to go down to Guatemala and not only go fishing but meet and hang out with firefighters from all over the country, it was incredible.
When you guys went to do the tour of Antigua too, before the fishing tournament.
So yeah, we it was really cool. We were all on a big text thread. It was great. Zach put us on a big text thread, and some of the guys had planned on from New York, actually from FDNY, planned to go in a few days early, like 3 days early. And so I haven't met any of these guys before. I haven't met Rob before out of St. Louis, and we decided, hey, let's do it. So we flew in 3 days early There's a little town called Antigua, which is kind of right in the middle of the country, so it's not on the water, and it's just a historical little town that's kind of been unchanged since the Spaniard times, and it was beautiful. It was, I tell you what, it was amazing being able to walk off the plane in a foreign country, and 5 minutes later, I was able to meet and talk to brothers I've never met before, and we clicked and we were good. And
Awesome.
it was great, So that was probably one of the my favorite things about the trip was just right off all of a sudden, and we were all different, and that's the thing, we're all completely different. Not, you got these New York guys, you got guys from Vail, you got guys from St. Louis, from Texas, but we all were able to like work with each other, go hang out, do everything together for 3 or 4 days. We did tours together. It was awesome. It was a beautiful, beautiful trip.
Good. Yeah, say, and especially fishing. I mean, when you're stuck on a boat for, 7, 8, 9, sometimes 10 hours at a time,
Yeah.
and we're not talking about any of these big, 90-foot sport fishes. We're talking some old school 30 to 40 footers. And there's
Yeah.
not a whole lot of space to run away. So being that, the camaraderie of that group, and I was fortunate to have you and Rob both on my boat. And, we all just hit it off from day
Yeah.
one and just had a blast. It sounds like everybody else did from that tournament as well. So, speaking for myself, I'm grateful that I was able to be a part of it. I had tons of fun.
Yeah, no, definitely. Uh, yeah, I'm so grateful, and I'm grateful to be able to go back again this year. I tell you what, the fishing was amazing.
It was.
not only the fishing, the whole trip was amazing. Everything was top notch, from the food and everything in Antigua, and like going around the little town, to going to Pacific Fins, and the resort and the customer service, and then each boat, it seemed like everybody had a great time. Everybody had a good crew. Our crew, and obviously, I know you're very you fish quite a bit, and so I was very thankful to have you on board. I've fished for like marlin and then snapper and stuff like that before. And marlin, you just let the rod zing, and then wait a few minutes and pick it up. This was really, really cool learning from you, man, how to like actually like it takes some finesse and skill with sailfish, because you got to put that bait in front of their mouth and stuff, and like swinging both sides of the boat. You got to pay attention. So we had a really good team. I'm very proud of what we did, and especially with Wild Rob. So it was, he was a little bit of a handful at times, but I think we all managed it very well.
Yeah, no, dude, that was awesome.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. And I'm glad you were able to pick up on some stuff, because by no means am I, a world-class fisherman. I just, love to do it. And honestly, just being able to try to teach it, I think it kind of made me better. The part that kind of hurts my soul a little bit is I was spending more time teaching you, and the last day you outfished the heck out of me. I'm
I
like,
just
bro,
got lucky.
more power to you. We're here for the team, we're for the boat. But selfishly, I'm like, how is he kicking my tail doing this, dude?
All right,
Jesus.
we're done here. You're on your own.
I just got
Like,
lucky.
you've already surpassed me in 3 days, so you're on your own now. Get to it.
Yeah. Yeah. So does that mean we're not going to be on a team this year?
I don't know. We got to talk to Zach on that one. He's the man with the plan.
We'll get that figured out as we finalize numbers. But right now we're sitting at 35. We're looking strong.
I love that.
Man, PD is representing and showing up this year. So
Really?
yeah,
Wow.
Like
fire's
it.
got to lay it down. I want to say we got probably more cops than firefighters this year. So it'll be
Nice.
interesting. I think it's going to be a little bit more competitive.
Well, last year we had predominantly fire, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so there was only a handful of police there. So
I think if you talk enough trash, people get a little agitated and then they show up.
especially between your two groups, man, it's like,
No,
hey,
in all
we're,
seriousness, yeah,
got
it's
nothing. You got each other's back, but it's nonstop trash talk the rest of the time.
absolutely, and that you have to in an industry that's so tough, and you're always walking on glass. You got to have a sense of humor, and you got to be able to just laugh things out at times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So, Levon, we talked about the tournament a little bit. Can you talk about kind of what mental health means to you as it relates to the fire service, and also how maybe that affected your mental health going to a tournament like this, and how that affected you?
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. I mean, mental health is pretty broad, but when it comes down to, us in the industry of, as first responders, we we have to still stay on point. We can't let that, take us off course, take us off track. So when we get back to the station, we have to, you have 10 minutes to restock and then get ready for the next call. So my big thing is when you're off work and off duty, one thing is not taking it home to the family. Okay. And I know it's really different for fire versus police. Police are going into work every single day. Us with fire, we do have a few days off. We are able to recoup a little bit better, things like that.
Mhm.
Also, we have more guys that are able to talk to each other, and we got buddies that we could, go hit the gym with first before we go home or something like that. You get off in the morning, like, hey man, let's go hit the gym. I had a rough night or something like that before you go home. Whereas I feel bad for a lot of the cops. They get a 10-minute shift exchange and then that's it. And then they're back on their own and they got a 20-minute drive home, that's it. So when it comes to mental health and first responders, like that's something that I've learned over the years is just that not taking it home, be able to at least deal with it. And then if you have reoccurring issues and whatnot, then, obviously seeking counseling help, seeking marriage counseling, family counseling, whatever the case may be. To be able to get us back, back in the line of duty type thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And so, how did the tournament affect that, if
Oh,
at all?
yeah. No, definitely. Like I had said before, being prior military and I was working on a small boat team and things like that, doing stuff overseas. Camaraderie is like always in my vocabulary, and I I love that like tight camaraderie, that brotherhood and stuff like that. I've had that early in my career when I was on a combat challenge team. We travel all over the country and compete, and then now just it seems like things are a little more isolated to stations and stuff like that. So getting out of my comfort zone and getting out with other firefighters with other departments around the country, a couple of things was amazing. Was just like I said, the camaraderie right off the bat, the brotherhood of like I just flew into a new country by myself. I don't know anybody that I'm going to see, meet or anything like that, but we all clicked right off the bat, and it was very trustworthy. Right, we could walk around town, had each other's six, and we're good. Okay, so that felt really good. Um, the other part of it was, the tournament itself, it shows that the grass ain't greener on the other side. Okay. It shows that we all kind of have our same problems and same things, no matter what size the department is. If you're a really small, two-station department, or if you're, FDNY. So, one of the main things that I learned was, just be happy with what you have on your day to day and where you work, and be positive on daily, and just do your job the best you can every single day. Train, work hard, things like that. And it was just a big good reset. The tournament was just such a good reset to be able to share things also, that we have experienced. Without having, sometimes when we share things like we experience that bother us within our own department internally, we're afraid it might get leaked to someone that might use it against us, or we might look at as being weak. When we had firefighters from all over the country that we really didn't know each other, but we knew what we all go through and we all go through similar things, it made it so much easier to be able to share those kind of deeper things that have been bothering us, whether it be calls, whether it be family issues, whether it be, we had a couple of guys that had cancer diagnoses and stuff like that, career ending issues, things like that. So they've lost some of that camaraderie, you could tell, because they couldn't talk about what they went through with the guys at the department because of workman's comp or whatever else, maybe in HR stuff. So this was really, really great to like come together with guys that understand each other, but that we don't really have any super good ties, and we could always help each other out. And I'm still on a text thread with many of them. In fact, I'm probably going to go to New York next month and
Oh, awesome.
meet up with some of the guys. So again, it's like, a lifelong brotherhood, really is.
So I got to ask you, and kind of probably why I put this tournament together. For me, did it feel like the fire service at all this tournament? And when I say that, the preparation, the chaos, the sitting around till all of a sudden there's chaos, till rods or lines are crossed and there's a problem, you got to fix it, and we're all working towards that end goal. Did you feel that at all, or is that just a weird thing that maybe
No,
I
no,
didn't?
no. Now that you say that, and it's funny, it sure is. I mean, it's just like, I really feel like on our boat, Rob was the probie, the green guy, was fishing. All right, sorry, Rob, if you listen to this. And then, I was, either the senior firefighter or engineer for sure, like, because I
Yep.
had a good grasp of stuff. And then Chris, hey, you were the officer, man. You were telling us like how to do it and what to do. So absolutely. That's a good way of putting it. Um, plus with the competition of everything,
Yeah.
it was great. We had our own little internal competition and fun and little harassment stuff and things like that, um, and then but obviously we were working together as a team
Yep.
for the competition of the whole tournament. So yeah, no, that was really really cool. And then going back, after every day of fishing all day long, we would go back. And let me tell you, the staff and everything there was fabulous. The food and dinner and every open bar and all the things, anything that you wanted at the pool, it was great. We the camaraderie then coming back and like everybody kind of talking trash a little bit and bragging a little bit, like, well, I did this and I got this or this happened here or whatever, and you could tell which guys kind of had like not such a good day, and the guys that like really had a lot of good day, like a lot of so it was a lot of fun for sure.
Absolutely. And the great thing about it, right? If you miss a fish, it's not the same as messing up on a call. You're going
Yeah.
to hear about it and we're going to razz each other, but that's the great part of it, right? It
Yeah.
probably hurts just as much to lose that big fish as messing up as a call.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's just a fish. And the good thing about Guatemala and Pacific Fins, another one's going to be in your spread shortly.
Yeah. It's incredible catching 20 to 30, sailfish a day or whatever it was. So it was incredible.
Yes,
Absolutely.
what's an average day there on a raise? An average day year round is like 25 or something like that.
I think it's 25 to 35, yeah.
Yeah, and that's just an average day. Some days are, a bad day is 10, and I'm over here on the East Coast, and like if we raise four white marlin, it's a phenomenal day. If we catch four white marlin, it's a huge day. So being able to get a shot at a fish every 20 to 30 minutes, a lot of times sitting on a boat, you're just kind of sitting there twiddling your thumbs, watching the water, trying to make it hope and pray something's going to do differently. Um, but every so often, you could sit on a boat for 10 hours and not even get a bite.
Yeah.
One of the things I love so much about Guatemala and Pacific Fins is the captains and the crew and the mates are always on it. Your bait's not lasting more than 30 minutes in the water, if that, because they're always on top of changing everything out. So the resort's phenomenal. Everybody knows your name within telling them twice, I think. And I've been going there for years and I'm still trying to figure out, who's what's name and this and that. But as soon as I get there, Thompson, hey, good to see you. And I'm like, hell yeah, what's up? Good to see you all. Um, but yeah, just phenomenal experience and a great place.
The only problem is we I think we're ruining all of our first responders. They're going to go to they're going to go to Florida or somewhere else. Even on their worst days in the tournament, they're going to be like, "What is this?"
Yeah,
And it's just not the same. I mean, you can't compete with those numbers and those
no.
opportunities.
Well, it is the sailfish capital of the world, so that does kind of help a lot.
Absolutely.
In your opinion, why should others support this tournament, the Bravest versus Finest tournament? Why should people get involved in the tournament as participants and or sponsors?
Yeah. Uh, Good question for sure. That first of all, the tournament and the nonprofits that support it. There's I think about three different nonprofits that kind of support it and help build it out and fill spots. They're all wonderful. They're all wonderful. I know the guys. I've known the nonprofits for many years, and the money goes to the right spot. Okay. Second of all, the the tournament itself, for us first responders, like I said before, it's just a great mental health break, right? It's a break from the reality of stuff. For a lot of these guys, it might be a once in a lifetime trip to go down there, and they've never fished before. So it gives them, like I said, that camaraderie. It gives them that sense of well being and importance and stuff. Being able to work together back on a team, and overall, it's just a great getaway with no stress. The tournament itself, we have a lot of good discussions. I think we're going to start building and bringing in maybe a little bit more, like, not necessarily counseling, but involvement as well. So I'm looking forward to this year with some new ideas and new things to work together. But overall, it's been amazing. It's been amazing, and yeah, I'm looking forward to April. Right, I think it's in April again.
Correct. April
So
12th through the 16th.
so a couple of months away. But yeah, no, it's awesome what y'all have done, Zach. It really is.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm just the real estate guy that got drug along because I was buddies with Zach.
It's a
Shucks. I
good
get to
place
go
to be.
fishing and host a podcast. Oh man, it's
Good place
so
to be.
hard. It's so
Yeah.
hard.
I just want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors. First off, Pacific Fins for hosting us, providing great customer service, taking care of every one of us, and letting us have a good time. Our other charities that we work closely with is Will Be Inspired and Revital out of Colorado. Great gentlemen that run both of those, and great resources for any first responders looking or needing help. Bahio Sunglasses was a huge part. Bisbee tournaments sponsored quite a few people, so thank you, Bisbees. We had Florida Kenya rum. We had a wine or a rum tasting night and a cigar night with Rodriguez Cigars as well. So thank you both for providing those supplies and letting us just relax and have a good time. Element, keeping us hydrated, keeping us salty as firefighters and cops, especially as we're experienced. We're definitely salty, but we'll take a little bit more of that when we're on the boat for 8 hours a day in the sun. And Gov Shades, huge shout out for also providing sponsorship to a first responder. That's huge on helping us reach our goals and funds for these nonprofits for mental health for first responders. And lastly, a huge shout out to King Sailfish Mounts for providing us beautiful trophies that Levon got to take a couple home somehow, some way. I don't know who he paid, but he was able to tear it up and bring some beautiful trophies home. And lastly, a Yeti. Yeti provided Yeti cups for all of our participants, and as well as some travel bags and some coolers and backpacks for rewards. It was amazing. And then we also had a turtle box that had some great turtle box. We had some music on the boats and having a good time, and yeah, just being able to relax. And yeah, just huge shout out to our sponsors. And then any first responders out there that's looking to get involved, please reach out to any three of us or directly to Nautical Pathfinder. You can reach me at 928-951-0669 or nauticalpathfinder@gmail.com. And if you're a first responder in need of help, please reach out. We're not therapists, but we definitely have the resources and can provide you any help you may need and get you in the right direction. So we're here for you. And also a huge shout out to Coolie Bar. They made us some amazing t-shirts. The cops got to rep their traditional blue, and firefighters got to rep their red. They kept us cool, protected us from the sun, and help us keep cancer away. So thank you for all that you do.
One last question. What was the most memorable moment in the tournament?
That's a good question, but I'd probably say it's two different things, but it's a same. And that's, I got to do a sailfish release. So I got to jump in the water after I caught one of the fish and actually swim it off and release it.
Yep.
And then it was super cool. At the end of the day, we're like, I don't know, 30 or 40 miles offshore. We, all the boats came together and put all the sterns together, and we were able to jump in the water and just have a last kumbaya, kind of thing. So it's really, really cool.
Yeah,
I fished a lot of tournaments and never seen anything like that. And to be able to do that and harass each other and, watch Rob struggle in the water a little bit there, deciding
poor
on whether or
Rob.
not I was going into rescue mode. It was really cool and something I'll never forget.
Nice.
Yeah, that was probably one of the coolest things I've experienced. Having, what do we have, 12 boats, 10 boats? But yeah, just sitting in
Yeah.
the middle of the Pacific Ocean, everyone just kind of backed up into a giant circle and just enjoyed the moment for a while. I think that was a really cool experience. One final question. Did you do a Dunkaroo?
Yeah, I sure did. I'd never heard of that before. And one of the days, I think it was either day one or day two, it was a little slow. We went through a little bit of time frame that's slow.
Yeah, it was day
And
two.
you had brought up about a Dunkaroo. And so you showed us, and we all three of us did it. And that was an experience.
And
So, so
within 5 minutes, the rods were
It
screaming.
did. It worked. It
Dunkaroos
worked.
work, man.
It worked. Yeah.
Levon, can you explain what that is for the viewers out there that may not know what that is?
Well, mainly you shotgun a beer. Is it? Help me out, Tommy.
You take a bucket, every boat has a bucket, throw some ice in it, throw some seawater in it. You dunk your head underwater in the bucket for 10 seconds. Everybody around you counts. At the end of 10, you pop your head up. Somebody's got a beer ready for you to shotgun it down. Then you jump up and do the sailfish dance. Fin goes out on the back, and then you dance and jump around the back of the boat. And generally, within about 5 minutes, one or three of those lines is screaming because Dunkaroos work and they catch fish.
And it did. It did. It worked for us. We ended up catching fish after that. So it was awesome.
Broke the slump for sure.
Yeah.
I will make sure all of the contact information is below down in the description as well. But yeah, and if you are interested at all, by all means, reach out to Zach. We want to thank everybody for tuning in, and mostly our special guest here, Levon Steel, for joining us and telling us about his experience at the Bravest First Finest fishing tournament down in Guatemala. If you'd like to reach out to us, our information will be below. Zach is the main man in charge of everything. I'm lucky to be here, basically. So this is the Rods and Radios podcast, Beneath the Surface. We'll catch you next time.